quarter note rock beat is the first thing I ever played on drums. It's how I started my drumming journey. So let me show you the beat and then we'll break it down. Alright, we're about to break down the individual parts, but just before I do, let me just explain the time signature of this beat. This is a 4/4 beat, meaning there's 4 quarter notes in each bar. And that's actually how we count the beat out. We simply count to 4. We just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's really handy because that's the hi-hat part. The hi-hat part simply plays on all 4 of those quarter notes. Okay, pretty simple, right? So next we're going to add in the bass drum part. We're going to keep the hi-hat where it is and add the bass drum underneath it on beats 1 and 3 only. Okay, now for the snare drum part. So let's take away the bass drum part for a second, keep the hi-hat where it is on all 4 beats, and we'll add in the snare drum on the opposite beats now, on beats 2 and 4, which we call the back beats. Okay, now for the full beat. So let's add the bass drum back in on beats 1 and 3, keep the snare drum on 2 and 4, hi-hat all 4 beats, and we should have the full quarter note rock beat. Alright, so that's it. That's how you play the quarter note rock beat. Now I'll show you a few variations to this beat in just a moment, but firstly let me share a few practice tips. The first is to pay attention to the timing of your strokes. So for example, on beats 2 and 4, we've got a hi-hat stroke and a snare drum stroke at the same time. Same time, not one just before the other, otherwise we get what we call a flam effect. So really listen and even look at first, really make sure those strokes are happening at the same time. Same with bass drum and hi-hat on beats 1 and 3. Make sure you get one clean sound, a hybrid sound out of those 2 strokes happening, and not one sound just after the other. Keep it really slow when you practice that first, and then you'll be able to hear this stuff. If you practice too fast, you won't be able to hear each stroke individually, each beat individually, making sure that they're clean strokes. The second is the dynamic balance of all parts of this beat: kick, snare, and hi-hat. We've got 3 very different sounding instruments happening at the same time. And when you just go to attack them naturally, you might not have the technique yet to really balance the dynamics. One might be sticking out, the hi-hat might be dominating this beat, but this is really not a hi-hat beat. It's really, it's about those 4 quarter notes. It's about the kick and the snare and the kick and the snare and the That's the feeling we want to put across when we play this beat. So make sure that the kick drum or snare drum don't dominate too much. Make sure they're basically equally balanced, and the hi-hat sort of sits at that same dynamic, or maybe even a bit quieter. The hi-hat kind of just locks it all in together. So keeping those things in mind, practice nice and slow, practice with a metronome if you have one, and then go through these following variations in which we simply add in or take away bass drum notes. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on the quarter note rock beat. More drum lesson videos on my channel and on my website, sachakdrums.com. And that's where you're going to find the PDF worksheet for this lesson and for many other drum lessons as well. So when you get a chance, please check them out. And thanks for watching.